Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Hungary GP pyramid ranking. As you can see, anything we want to say before we get into the pyramid?
No, the pyramid will say it all.
The pyramid.
Your microphone topper is all out of whack. There you go.
The pyramid will say it all. So true. All right, let's just get to it.
All right, number 10, bottom of the barrel, McLaren vibes.
Hopefully
off.
You can see that. McLaren vibes are way off. It is about as bad. I would have to imagine. Now we're recording this, an hour, a couple hours after the race ended, so we don't know all the aftermath. But this is not going to do. It ultimately worked out.
Yep.
Things went the way that they were quote unquote supposed to go, but it's not going to help them
bond.
No, and it wasn't great. It
No.
wasn't great.
Yeah, and ultimately Lando did what he was asked. I get it, but it's kind of like it was a little rocky.
And we're getting to the point too with Oscar and Lando in terms of them as teammates where, Oscar is now not as often, not every single race, but he is obviously challenging Lando a lot more than maybe he had last year or in the past. And I think as Oscar continues to improve, this is only his second year in Formula One, and they keep getting in these situations.
Yeah, it's going to get tense.
Now, I don't really see Oscar causing a lot of problems, but
Nor do I.
We don't know.
Sure.
He definitely could. Anyway, it's gonna, I think there'll be more situations like this over time.
I know. I hope they stay friendly.
Yeah. Because I feel like we've had some of this stuff with Carlos and Charles, but we haven't had much of that in recent weeks. So anyway, we'll have to wait and see how this all shakes out.
How the cookie crumbles.
Exactly. All right. Number 9.
No, wait. I literally forgot the word for 9. Pierre. This poor kid. Really started from the pit lane. Excuse us. Started from the pit lane.
Well, not even that. Qualifying. Didn't even get to do a good run.
True.
And
technically qualified P20.
Yeah.
Then had to start from the pit lane. Then, and I don't even remember how early into the race
it was
after middle, halfway through.
It was about middle of the race.
Yeah, there was a hydraulic issue. And so for the second race in a row, he did not in fact finish the race, which is just got to be so frustrating for him. He had such an exciting week leading up to the race, and for it all just to come down.
Gets a new dog, goes to Taylor Swift.
Yeah. And, I hope Simba doesn't feel disappointed in him. I hope Simba knows that it's not Pierre's fault.
Totally.
And, I guess when a DNF happens, it always sucks. But I think you said this with George, I'd rather it be mechanical than something he could have prevented. I feel like that helps soften the blow a little bit.
But the Alpine is always breaking down. It is probably the least reliable car.
Yeah, well, immediately it was as one of their investors there.
Yeah.
But
no,
I don't
I
think that there was. But.
Sorry for Pierre.
Yeah.
At least you have a seat next year.
Amen.
All right, number 8. We have the crowd strike debacle of Friday, July 19th.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
When everything shut down. Mercedes, their computers all went black during FP1. Flights were grounded left and right.
And because of a software update, it wasn't even at first, I think people thought it was a hack. And I guess grateful that it wasn't a hack, but it's a little crazy that a software update can cause so much chaos and damage.
Prevented a lot of people from being able to travel to go to various things. Just a real old nightmare. And it does have a F1 connection.
And I really feel for whoever signed off on that. Yeah, that is to know that you are. I'm sure there's a team of people, but there is a final person who's yep,
all good.
Let it rip. Ugh, that's awful.
Sucks. All right, number 7, last in the bottom. We have, shockingly, I know everyone's going to be shocked, we have Max Verstappen.
Yeah, you may know this. Max is my favorite driver. Max was on his worst behavior this weekend. He was petty, he was cranky, he was whiny, and I kind of loved it because it means that we're getting to see him actually race. But sometimes I just don't like the way he speaks to people, and I get it. Tensions are high. He's a competitive dude. Again, I think it's kind of funny. The people he's speaking with know his mindset and know like that he is who he is. But yeah, I don't know. He didn't deserve to be any higher than he is.
I mean, he also, you know, he qualified P3. Wasn't a bad qualifying from him, but wasn't his usual best. He seemed kind of upset during qualifying as well.
Yeah.
And then, just the race, he just was not happy. He struggled to pass Lewis. He then yeeted himself off of Lewis's tire.
Which we don't know if he got a penalty
let me
from
check
that at
and
all.
see. There's just been, I don't think it would have affected his race positioning.
Well, and also, I know he had to give Lando a spot back, which I think they did to avoid a potential penalty. But I wonder if he didn't do that, if they would have given a penalty. Like, obviously, that could have changed the dynamic of today quite a bit. But yeah, he was not a happy camper. And it also could have been because he, as we all know, stayed up till 2 or 3 in the morning on sim racing. But I don't think that that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything about it, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, TBD on that.
All right.
Yeah, just interesting. Number 6, we have Checo clackers Sergio Perez. And honestly, there's just like not much to say that we haven't already said. It's really too bad that he's not on the bottom. Yep, he's moving up, kind of. And, you know, I do feel for him in a lot of ways. It's got to be tough. Everyone just like keeps talking about you. And
it's clearly not we said this before. I don't think Checo's a bad driver.
No.
Clearly what he's doing or going through is mental.
Absolutely.
It's 100% mental. I don't think the Red Bull car is the best car for him. I think he is a driver. He spent so much of his career in the midfield, and I feel like he's someone who, if there is a change that happens, I kind of feel like it could be the best case thing for him, because maybe he can get like the Audi seat or something and go into a team where like there's just not the expectations, the pressure, whatever that you have when you're at Red Bull and with Max, and there's just less focus and less eyeballs on you, and the fact that there's just everyone's focused on how is Checo going to do.
Yeah, and also just a more equal playing field, you know? Like not everything is on him in a way, because it's also like, yes, Max can in the past has like saved Red Bull, whatever, but also now that that's not happening, there's even more pressure on him, which again, it's like some people handle that really well and they like do their best that way, and I don't think there's a lot of drivers that aren't that way. Like that's not their motivation. It gets in their head.
Right. All right, number 5, Lando Norris. Now you might be asking yourself, why is he on the 3rd tier when he got pole position? He got 2nd place. Objectively a good weekend. But he's in the 3rd tier because
his buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I give Lando a little bit more grace than Max because I don't want to blame Lando for the strategy. Obviously, the strategy call was not Lando. It was McLaren that made that, which is why they're here at the bottom. So I don't blame Lando for that. I also don't blame Lando for not just immediately
giving it up.
I understand. I get it. It's a tough situation to be in. But it was just a tough.
It got a little catty.
It just got a little bit. Didn't love it. Didn't love it. Now we are Lando Norris fans. We like Lando Norris. We root for him. All those things. And again, like he had a strong weekend. Pole position. Yeah. Getting P2. Like objectively a good weekend. But it
was tough.
Yeah.
He was having a bit of an attitude problem.
Yeah. But again.
And I get it. But that's why he's here.
That's why he's there. All right. And number 4, Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, here's it's just tough because he had a good qualifying.
Right.
He outqualifies his teammate. He gets into Q3, P9. He probably could have even done better than P9 had the red flag stuff kind of gone his way, and had he been able to set his time when he at the right time, I guess. You know, is in front of his teammate, race starts, it's all looking good in Q1. Yeah. And his team just screws him over. He is in this 3rd tier, not to any fault of his own, to the fault of his team, who is just making it incredibly difficult for Daniel to have any sort of success. And I just feel for him. I really sincerely hope, and I mean, I have to believe that Red Bull and everyone takes that into account when they're thinking of everything. I mean, come on, please, Jason.
Yeah, please.
You know, please. Do you ever think about, side note, like the things that we say, and like, do you think people know what they're from? Like
sometimes they do. So when
Jason,
I made the New Girl reference, people picked up on that. That was fun. But I mean, like Jason, it's struggling.
It's when Yuki, it was that interview where Yuki was asked about Jason Statham coming to his race, and he said, "Please, Jason."
Yeah. It's sometimes yes and sometimes no. I think is probably the answer there.
Sorry if you're hearing things that maybe you are confused about, but anyway, it's tough, and it's F1. We know it's a team sport. It's not always about the driver. It is about the strategy and the pit crew and everything else, like the car itself, working in your favor to help you. But what's hard is that so often we as fans and viewers, we don't take those things into account when we're evaluating a driver. Yeah. And I feel like we always try, like even Checo last week, you know, he didn't have a good, or whenever that was, Silverstone, didn't have a good race. But I think we mentioned like he was effed by the strategy. Like he was totally effed by his team, just like Charles Leclerc was. Yeah. And so it's important to like not just take the result for like on its face and actually dig deeper. So I feel bad for him. His future is really like, who knows what's going to happen with Danny.
Yeah. Hopefully good things, but it's hard to say.
It's hard to say. All right. Third tier or second tier.
Numero tres. We've got Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc at the Eras Tour.
I hope you can see that. I don't know if you can.
Well, I said it, so now you know. Okay. And again, you know, someone I think had commented like, well, you know, it's not uncommon for celebrities, athletes, whatever, to go to these kinds of concerts. I don't disagree with you. It gave me a lot of joy and a lot of people in our community that we've got two drivers and their girlfriends at the Taylor Swift Eras Tour concert. And then Travis commented on Pierre's Instagram. And we talked about this on the podcast, but when we started watching that silly little show about 20 boys driving fast, I just didn't ever foresee this being a part of the conversation, and I'm grateful that it is.
I know. It is amazing. I don't think any other F1 driver has gone to the Eras Tour yet. Or am I forgetting someone?
Not publicly, I don't think.
And unless I'm just completely blanking on someone who's been.
George didn't go, right?
George didn't go. Lando hasn't gone.
Yeah, so that would be no.
Yeah. You know, very much hoping that we get to see some driver at a Chiefs game this year. That would be so fun.
Amazing. I know. We really should try and figure out the.
We should go to a game. You and I.
I've never been to a Chiefs game before.
Well, I haven't been since I was like 6.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so let's look at the calendar.
No, I would love to do that,
and let's plan a date, and we can go.
I was worried that Charles was going to lose circulation from all the bracelets.
I know
he
had so many bracelets. God bless him.
Yeah. God bless Kurt.
God bless Kurt. He's just. I wonder what do you think their favorite albums? I don't think either Pierre nor Charles were huge. I don't think they're like big, huge fans, but what do you think their favorite albums were?
Probably Red. I'm just thinking about the songs. So like, I don't even know if they would do it in as much as in the eras as they were like, they know Love Story and they know 22, and they probably got excited when those songs came on because they'd probably heard them before.
See, I feel like Pierre is a reputation.
Yeah.
And I think that Charles Leclerc actually is in the folklore Evermore vibes.
Oh, okay.
Like Champagne Problems. I feel like he would like the piano.
Yeah, I mean, he's a composer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should try to get in contact with Travis to like get him in the writing room. Like he could work collaboration with Taylor Swift.
With Lewis Hamilton feature.
Yeah.
Okay, could we just because I think what's funny is we do come up with these delusional fantasy ideas of something that could happen, but that's not outside of the realm of possibility. No, but when you think about it, the degrees of separation are so small now.
I know.
You've got Lewis Hamilton. Like everybody wants to talk to Lewis Hamilton, including Taylor, right? And then
does she though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she would be interested to speak with him. I'm not saying she'd be interested to like have him on a feature. Like I'm not like crazy, but yeah, I mean like Pierre and Travis are on a commenting basis at minimum.
Well, we know that Lando has Travis Kelce's phone number.
I didn't know they had phone numbers.
Yeah, Lando talked about when after he won in Miami, he was on Was it that Greg James in the morning
Love
show?
Greg James.
And I think he was asked about meeting Travis, and he said
deceased.
like they met at that party or whatever, and they exchanged phone numbers, and he talked about going to a game. Like Travis said, we got to get you to a game, and Lando joked about getting tickets, like Eras Tour tickets for his sisters or something. But anyway,
because he would never go. Please, sorry, excuse me.
But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so we know that Lando and Travis have, or at least they have each other's phone numbers. So it's not like
I knew they met because the picture.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be shocked if Pierre also had Travis Kelce's phone number.
That's awesome. Okay,
moving on. Number 2, we have Lewis Hamilton.
Woot, woot.
Lewis had a very quiet, strong race. He was complaining about his tires quite a bit.
Well,
par for the course.
He's a consistent man.
Yeah, but not the best. Where did he qualify? Do you remember?
Hold please.
2 secs.
Ted. Oh, love that. I feel like I have. Oh yeah, that's not true. I hear it all the time. Lewis qualified P5.
5. Okay, so not like the greatest qualifying performance, but did what he had to do. Kept Max, fought Max hard.
Yeah.
Got that last podium
was almost
spot.
Taken out.
Yeah, and I think had a very solid race. And did a good job. And obviously coming off of the win in Silverstone, and we talked a lot about Lewis and George earlier in the season and how often George was out qualifying Lewis and beating Lewis. And I feel like Lewis is kind of now a little bit more consistent and just and George had the mistake in qualifying, obviously, but. It was a solid performance from Lewis Hamilton. Okay. And he's also up here because he was interviewed by Nico Rosberg too, which was a highlight for us fans.
And hopefully for you as well. I did also quote when the show ended on the ESPN broadcast before she even went, I went, "Hi, I'm Nicole Briscoe. You were saying you should," and then you stopped about the 2 secs, Ted. Were you going to say something?
Oh, you should get that as your next pop socket.
I had a feeling that's what you were going to say, and I really enjoyed that idea.
Okay. All right. Number 1 shouldn't come as a shock to anybody, but it is Oscar Piastri. Nicole
Piastri's son.
Formula 1 winner. Congratulations to Oscar. He, it was a strange race for him. I think a kind of a strange win. Probably not exactly the way he would have wanted to win his first F1 race, given all the drama, behind the scenes, but he did a great monkey off his back. We still have that one monkey left, and it doesn't look like we're gonna get it off. But yeah, keep leaving for me,
of course.
Just love Oscar so much. He's really found a way in all of our hearts, and I think as an introvert, as someone who I relate so much to Oscar. I mean, obviously, I'm a lot more. What's the word? Like demonstrative than Oscar. I mean, I think I have a lot more emotion that I show than Oscar, but I relate
certainly when you're stressed.
But I relate to his sort of like I feel like he's the kind of guy that's like, I want to leave this party now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I relate.
I feel like he's the guy who's like, I'm not going, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay right over here.
But yeah, he's just someone said in the chat, like, he became my little brother so fast. I wasn't expecting. And I was like, that's such a good way of putting it. Like, he really is he found a way into all of our hearts.
Because I was thinking about this, who are your top 3 drivers right now?
First of all, thank you for adding right now, because I feel like people don't do that enough. I would say it's Max, Lando, and Oscar.
So you still have Lando ahead of Oscar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm not judging. I don't know if I necessarily rank them that way, but those are my top 3.
That's the 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Even though 2 of them really chopped my ass today, but it's okay.
I mean,
one of them won, so
that's the sign of, you got to love them through thick and thin.
Yeah,
you got to really go through all the hardships.
I'm nothing if not loyal.
You're telling me, Jean. You are telling me. I certainly wish I wasn't so loyal.
Yep.
I would be a lot less depressed.
Yeah.
But anyway, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up? I had something else I was going to say and then I forgot. But maybe it will come.
Well, for me, that's that on that.
Okay. So that's our pyramid. Hungary, we have Spa, obviously, and then we are on a little bit of a hiatus from the pyramids and stuff. And yeah, let's just hope.
Exactly.
Let's just
I think that's great what you just said. We don't even have to like put it something specific into it. It's just let's just hope. And you know what it means, but let's not give language to it because it just becomes too much to bear.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Enchanté.